Hi chickens, this is another Vlogmas video. I'm going to make this very snappy because I have a very tiny window between two clients to make this video. I thought I would talk about ways that I like to cleanse my space and cleanse my altar, cleanse tools, etc. And to clear the space and kind of make the energy into what I want it to be when I am working in rooms or when I move into a new place, when I do house cleansings for other people, etc. So I know everybody has their different things that they really love to use for cleansing. First of all, I want to say that I'm not an automatic cleanser of stuff. So I don't automatically acquire a piece of jewellery or a magical tool or automatically move into an apartment or whatever and cleanse. That might have been what I'd have done in the past. I would definitely say that in the past I was more into this idea that you were just supposed to cleanse as a matter of course. You were supposed to set the energy signature as a matter of course. Whereas now I fully recognise that cleansing takes me quite a bit of energy. It's not that I'm bad at it or I can't do it or it exhausts me or I need to have a nap afterwards or anything like that, because I do know how to, replenish my energy stores and I do know how to cleanse safely without getting really exhausted or anything. But it does take time and it does take effort, and so I prefer instead to figure out whether or not I need to cleanse before I actually go through the motions of doing so. I find often that I don't need to cleanse a space that I move into and start living in because the space already has quite a nice vibration and I feel the vibration harmonises with or matches the vibration that I'm holding and the feelings that I'm going through and the things that I'm bringing to the table. For example, I didn't do a full cleansing of the apartment that I'm living in now because when we moved in there was actually a really lovely card left on the windowsill with a quote on it by the Dalai Lama and a sprig of lavender from the previous occupant, and we also found some information in a drawer about the previous occupant, that she was a painter and she was doing exhibitions in the area, and it was just really cool. She had a lot of vegan cleaning products under the sink. I just got a really nice vibe as soon as I walked in, and then that was backed up by the evidence of just the kind of person she was and the kind of things that she was considering and going through, and I just felt like it was a nice vibe in the flat. I felt like I didn't need to do a full-on cleanse. So that's the first thing I would say, is that I do like to just attune with an energy first and basically see whether or not a cleansing needs to be done, whether or not I need to cleanse something that's been previously owned by somebody, for example. Do I feel like I need to just get that attuned with me more, or do I feel like I can just work with it and it's okay? So cleansing isn't a matter of course. It's not something that I would say is, something that I have to do, something that I really feel strongly I have to do in every case. For me, sound cleansing has become one of the key ways that I really think is effective for me. So I really enjoy chanting and I really enjoy using bells. I've got a couple of glass bells that my boyfriend's mum gave to me and I love them particularly for cleansing. I use them to cleanse my altar. I go over the altar with them and I use them to cleanse spaces where I just feel like things are a little bit funky or where I'm about to start a creative project and I want to make sure the energy is up to scratch and I just feel like, yes, this is good, everything is clicking into place vibrationally here. So sound cleansing is something really enjoyable. I've also got some chimes, some Tibetan chimes, and I love to use them for my chanting practice, but I also just like to use them moving around the flat or moving over my altar, moving over something that I want to cleanse and just doing my business, just going ahead and going at it. I also really love smoke for cleansing. I love incense smoke. I feel like that really cuts through anything funky. I choose different incenses dependent upon the situation, depending on the intention that I want to bring to it. So that's a cleansing tool that I really love to use. In the last few years, I've been more partial to crystal cleansing. I wasn't so into it when I was younger, but now I really do enjoy to cleanse my decks with crystals. And often with the two working decks that I have on my altar, I will actually just leave clear quartz points or selenite on top of them so that I kind of feel as though they're constantly being touched by something super high vibe and something that I consider to have cleansing properties attached to it. I come from more of a psycho-spiritual place with all of this kind of stuff rather than, really literally believing that there are high vibes coming out of selenite and actually cleansing my cards in any way that could be tangible or evidenced. But there's something for me about it that makes sense and it changes the way that I approach the cards and connect with the cards afterwards as a tool. So that's how it makes sense to me. I do feel like transformative psychodrama versus an actual belief in the energetic properties of crystals, it's much of a muchness for me. There's not much in it. I don't really, you know, mind how things are working. I just care that they're working. And for me, placing crystals on top of decks, charging them under the light of the full moon, that kind of thing, it really does it for me. So there's that. I know a lot of other people like fire, not fire cleansing, but like taking a candle around and kind of moving the candle over the areas that they want to cleanse and maybe speaking words of power. I think that's perfectly legitimate, but it's not really my bag. I do like to leave I like to leave crystals around in different areas that I want to cleanse or that I want to imbibe with a certain energy. So I do that. A really easy way to cleanse a space is to consecrate a candle for the purpose and then leave the candle burning while you're just in the room doing something or whatever. You can also select words of power that are specifically yours and are specifically for the purposes of cleansing something in double quick time, and then just allow those words of power to be steeped and imbibed in your psychological associations of what it means to cleanse something. And then those words of power can be kind of whipped out at a time when it's really necessary and appropriate to have them to hand. So that's something else that I really enjoy and can really get into as well. You can use signs that you make with your hands to kind of cleanse space and consecrate space, or consecrate objects on your altar or whatever as well. There are tons of different ideas, and I'd love to know in the comments section how you cleanse, if you cleanse, whether or not you've changed your processes over time. This has been me talking a little bit about how I like to cleanse, and when I feel it's appropriate to do so. It's just basically when I feel like the energy's a little bit off, really, or when I feel like things need to be brought back into balance, brought back into harmony. And I don't always feel that that is necessary. Quite often I get a really good vibe from a place or an object or a collection of objects, and so I use my discretion and my discernment to decide when it's appropriate, because cleansing is just a form of magical housekeeping, spiritual housekeeping if you like, that isn't always necessary. You know, you do see those people that are super kind of next level extra for cleaning and tidying, and they're kind of running around like blue ass flies, tidying the space and cleaning and taking every little, you know, bit of minuscule thing off anything. And you look at their place and it looks like a fucking IKEA showroom, and you think, why just stop like pluffing up the pillows and messing about and just calm down, have a cup of tea. And I feel like spiritual housekeeping can get a bit similar, where you're just going over the top, you're just going way too hard for the cleansing, and it doesn't need to be. Everything's okay, you know. So I feel like tuning in with yourself first is definitely a good idea before you get down to the business of cleansing anything. It's been really nice coming here every day and checking in with your comments every day. I'm enjoying doing Vlogmas. Can be a bit difficult to fit it in at times, but I'm trying my best. Much love, guys. Blessed be.